Okay. Hear me out. I can't be the only one who was afraid of Mr. Bean, no? I mean, I get that he's funny and goofy and all, but there's just a side of Mr. Bean that scares me. There's something uncanny and unnatural about him that just sends chills down my spine. I even dreamed about him as a kid, where I stared at him and he suddenly did this face exactly. And I considered that a nightmare. Well, before, okay, that was only before, when I was just a little kid. And I totally didn't flinch while watching TikToks and suddenly saw his face. And now I'm doing this video because of it. Totally not the case. You see, when I was just a little boy, I've always been afraid of Mr. Bean's face and his actions. But I was too embarrassed to admit it to my parents, because my measly brain thought they would laugh at me
Hey,
like,
y'all, come look at this.
Ma, Pa, I'm scared of Mr. Bean. So I didn't tell them I was afraid of Mr. Bean, and I was forced to watch it with them whenever it's playing on the TV. And I think I developed some trauma for Mr. Bean. So what better content to make but to relive this trauma of mine and prove to the people that I'm a big boy now. So I rewatched all 14 classic episodes of Mr. Bean and ranked each episode on how scary it was for me. And just to explore this brain of mine and try to find the answer on why was I terrified of this goofy character. The ranking would be S tier for when it actually terrifies me and gave me actual trauma. A tier for when it scared me just a little. B tier when it's not that scary but I would still react like, whoa, relax Mr. Bean. C tier is when I'm not actually scared but just worried about him. Like, what are you doing, my guy? And F tier when it's just a totally chill episode. Let's start. Jeez, even the intro music frightens me. Episode 1. Wait, I never knew Mr. Bean's car was originally orange. Did anyone else notice too? Anyway, the first bit where he keeps copying the other guy for the exam and the second bit in the beach wasn't really scary for me. In fact, it was kinda funny. And I actually thought that, no way I was scared of this guy. He was just goofy and cartoony. Psych! He did this in the church bit. And when I saw this face, it felt like I was reliving a war on my brain and actually shivered like I just peed or something. But all of you guys find this funny. Then I must just be crazy. Come on, tell me I'm not the only one. Off to a great start, well, not for me though, to an immediate S tier. Episode 2. First bit when he went shopping was nothing scary. It was fine. But this scene from the part when he was fine dining was something else. Just look at him. I don't know, it might just be a me problem, but this feels so uncanny to me. It kinda scares me. We also have this scene from the episode where he does the same feeling to me. And this headbutt. Well, this was like feeling secondhand embarrassment more than anything though. So for episode 2, I'll rank it A tier. Episode 3 was a weird one. This pool scene where he went to the highest diving board but got scared and ended up naked losing his pants probably falls into the what are you doing category. Same thing to this parking spot scene, like dude's a criminal. And also the lunch scene. It was borderline disgusting. But hey, I'm not saying it's not funny though, I'll give him that. But my mood shifted when we got to the movie bit of the episode, where Mr. Bean just kept scaring and scaring his girl. And especially this scene. Like, seriously, I'm really the only kid that realized how crazy dangerous this guy was. No wonder I'm scared of him. With that being said, originally, I was supposed to rank it C tier, but with the knife scene, it's an S for sure. Episode 4. The first bit in his apartment where he keeps configuring the television and finally got to enjoy it was actually fun to watch. The second bit when someone stole his camera was cool too. But the third bit wasn't as fun. In fact, it was kinda sad. We witnessed Mr. Bean's girl just be too embarrassed about him and essentially dumping him for another guy. I felt sad for our boy, but yeah, he was just too naive. All in all, it was a nice change for a bit. And for once, nothing from my trauma really kicked in this episode. So episode 4, I'd rank you F tier. Episode 5. It was pretty dangerous when he was trying to get ready while driving, but oh well, comedy I guess. But Mr. Bean was such a menace by pouring water on this boy's pants just to get a comic book, and he couldn't even read a thing. More dangerous doings from Mr. Bean, like he's just a living intrusive thought. Then the third bit was literally just man versus bee. So episode 5's rank should be clear and it's C tier. What the hell was he thinking? Episode 6. First bit was Mr. Bean seeing a man get a heart attack. With his wits though, he managed to revive him, only to electrocute him afterwards, and then stole energy from an ambulance. A bit creepy since he literally just killed a man, but nah, he's probably just fine. He then got stuck in a mail thingy, I don't know what it's called. And then this noisy seatmate on the train scene was funny. This guy's laugh was just too contagious. We proceed to the last bit, with Mr. Bean and this kid. Like, bro, what are you doing to Teddy? This scene was okay, I guess, but this barfing scene unfortunately left another unsettling feeling of mine. And with that, episode 6 will be ranked B tier. Episode 7. A Christmas episode. Mr. Bean just plays with these figurines and orchestrates a choir, just a normal day for him. Then of course, have a date with his girl, but accidentally gets a huge turkey stuck in his head. They had to eat sandwiches instead, but at least they had gifts for each other. Mr. Bean received a classic ship, while his girl received a picture. Well, the girl wanted a ring, not the picture, clearly. And just when you thought he'd redeem himself, he just digs an even bigger hole for himself. I don't know, man. I'm just very disappointed with Mr. Bean. He just seemed to always lose, and I kinda feel bad for him. So for this episode, it's not scary at all. F tier. I haven't been scared much lately and sure hope so that it stays that way. So episode 8 basically is Mr. Bean checking in a hotel, where he finds this competition with this random guy. He then proceeds to jump on the bed and drill holes on the wall for his frames, leaving me this worried/cringing face like, why Mr. Bean? Why? And then this walking down the stairs scene. I don't understand how anyone would not be scared of this. Like, just look at him. He seems so evil. There just might be something wrong with you all, because if you weren't scared of that, then you're also not scared when O.J. Simpson did this. Yeah, terrifying, right? Or just me. We also have this part of the episode where Mr. Bean ate all the bad oysters. That was also very traumatizing to me as a child, because I thought he's just gonna die from that and got scared for him. All in all, this episode was absolutely the worst one for my trauma. It had the facial expressions and uncanny horror I was trying to avoid. S tier. Episode 9. After such a horrifying episode, it was nice to have an actual cool one for me. But of course, we had to start with yet another "what are you doing" bit of the episode. Like, Mr. Bean, why are you feeding these people sticks and vinegar? Like, are you trying to kill them? But the next bit was actually awesome. Leaving a dummy substitute to skip the line to buy a new sofa on sale and drive like this. That bit of the episode was awesome. But I admit, this next part was a little toe-curling cringe for me, just because of this hole he made. But well, it had a cool and funny ending, when he exploded a white paint to instantly paint the room white completely. Not without collateral damage though. A breath of fresh air compared to episode 8. F tier, it was just cool. Episode 10. Now this episode felt a bit random, much like a cartoon. I didn't feel unsettled or scared or even worried about the things Mr. Bean did. This episode was just chill. He accidentally kidnapped the baby and decided to have fun at the fair with him. A lot of funny moments, and finally, he did nothing so embarrassing. I kinda wish Mr. Bean was more like this, instead of a pain-in-the-ass kid that couldn't behave himself. So yeah, I'll place episode 10 in F tier. Episode 11. Back to school episode. And it started with yet another uncanny feeling. I don't know, man, I'm just scared of his face sometimes. So weird. And this part too. Like, behave Mr. Bean, what the hell are you doing? Like, huh? Then suddenly, he lost his pants and found it being worn by another guy in the toilet. But why would you do this? Like, bro, just ask for it. You don't have to scare the guy. You don't have to scare me. I know I've been kinda hard to Mr. Bean from the way he was acting, but when his car got crushed I remember actually crying over this as a little kid. Yeah, I was scared of him, but this scene was just heartbreaking. For episode 11, it's C tier. Episode 12. For the first half of the episode, he was just getting bullied by this guy and getting unlucky. He actually didn't do something ridiculous and really just wanted to do laundry. So yeah, I felt bad for him, but he got his revenge for once. The other half of the episode was just Mr. Bean golfing, but it went everywhere. And I say everywhere. He had to hit it 3,000 times before it went in, which was very impressive in terms of resilience. And that was a really fun episode. Another F tier. I know it's weird to call good episodes F tier, but hey, just deal with it. Episode 13. Yet another what the hell are you doing, Mr. Bean? Really throwing a baby doll, initiating a fight just to skip a little bit of the line. He then mocked this poor lady and even steals her number. Bruh, even flipping the machine. That was funny and all, but bro, settle down. Karma got to him though, so there's that. And I have no idea how he got away with doing this to a Queen's Guard. But yeah, he did this. Mr. Bean, as the original Giga Chad, would need to buy stocks upon stocks of light bulbs, because the only way for him to turn it off is to shoot it. This episode is ranked C tier. Because, what the fuck? Episode 14. Mr. Bean wanted a haircut, but was too impatient. So of course, as he gets controlled yet again by his intrusive thoughts, he just cut hair for random people and act like an expert. These were his victims. The next bit was okay, I guess. He participated to a dog contest, but his dog was Steady, his plushie. He won the whole thing, which doesn't really make sense, but nothing does when it's Mr. Bean we're talking about. The next one was this nonsense. I don't know what else to say. This episode was a bit weak, considering it's the last one. C tier. So this was the full tier list. Not too bad, huh? So Mr. Bean wasn't really that scary. I was more weirded out and felt embarrassed for him, but there were times that I really was scared of him, and it stuck with me. Wait, what is this above S tier? S plus tier? And it's called The Real Cause of Your Trauma? That's right, bonus scene from the Bean movie itself. It was late at night, and my dad rented the Bean movie for us to watch. At this point, I grew up a little, so I think I'm not scared of Mr. Bean no more. I ain't a child anymore, or so I thought. And at this point, I realized a new fear about Mr. Bean is that I'm worried and afraid of the things he does, that I couldn't imagine myself being in his situation and would just break down. I think this is my first ever anxiety that I've ever felt. And this scene perfectly describes that feeling. The feeling of desperation and hopelessness. I can't explain it to you really, but this bubbling painting scared me. And this drawing of his trying to fix the painting scared me even more. I don't know why I'm scared, but maybe some psychiatrist can explain this to me somehow. So yeah, that's the real and complete tier list. In all seriousness though, I really do respect the act of Mr. Bean. Imagine bringing joy and smiles to people just by being goofy with little dialogue too. Rowan Atkinson was truly goated in his own way. He is witty and very bold to pull something like this off. I would like to just leave this quote before I end the video and say that I'm still, and forever will be, scared of Mr. Bean. Hey, consider subscribing and liking the video. Your support would help me immensely. Comment down below if you're the same as me or have other weird fears. That's all from me for now. Bye!